The whole point of this week is to get the number of sexual assaults down on campus.
It's pretty shocking. The man is Rodney Cook. His arrest was part of a statewide sting targeting people trading child pornography. What it does is it walks people through sticky situations that could turn into something dangerous, like sexual assault. And I talked to one football player who says it made a big impact on him.
Well, it may be unusual, it's not unheard of. In fact, the same thing happened right here 4 years ago on Hilton Head Island when a pilot lost control of his plane, causing an emergency landing, killing a passing jogger. Now the escapade is back home tonight after being trapped on a sandbar for over a day and a half. But the Coast Guard tells us it could take days, if not months, to find out how it got trapped there in the first place. Well, he's a vet, so seeing his grandson up there was a proud moment for him. Those airstrikes did make him uneasy, but if we go to war and his grandson is sent in to fight, he says he understands.
Mangum is also in charge of this jail, which can hold up to 400 people, but due to budget constraints, usually holds up to 150. Now, among many of the things Carter talked about today, he encouraged people to go out and vote. Not only them, but to get their friends to do it. He says it's as easy as posting on social media. Now, investigators say they don't know the cause of the fire just yet, but firefighters are just happy they were able to put it out. Gulfstream has put up yellow caution tape and these barricades in order to encourage people to park away from the area. At the end of class comes explore time, where kids can look around the room, interact with everything in there, and make a few friends while they're doing it.
Just last week, Ivory Carter was shot to death in this neighborhood, a place people tell me is usually pretty quiet. Tonight, people gathered right here to deliver a message. We are taking a stand.
We say enough is enough, and we mean enough is enough.
That's the message from the community of Poplar Place after a rash of violence in the city. 20 shootings in 3 weeks. The head of the neighborhood, Dr. Pat Harris, says they are sick of it.
Crime is likened to a disease that is festering and tearing up our city. That disease is curable, but at this point, it looks like it's incurable.
The neighborhood is still reeling from the loss of Ivory Carter, who was shot and killed here last week.
Let's call a ceasefire. Let's call a ceasefire today on National Night Out, and let's have a moratorium on the killing.
And especially on this night, the city wants people to know that the police are behind them.
You know, people's perception becomes their reality, and we want them to know that we are here diligently working for them, that their community is safe, and that we are here to work hand in hand with them to continue to make the community safe.
And it may even help them make some progress with ongoing cases.
This is an opportunity where we can garner that support, and you'd be surprised what people may tell us while we're out doing these events. That may lead to, to a conclusion to something that we're looking into.
You cannot allow this situation or any other violent situation to touch your neighborhood.
And the police chief did address all the shootings today in a press conference. She said that they are making progress in all cases, including this one, and are close to issuing an arrest warrant. Reporting from Savannah, Lesley Holler, WTOC News. Fresh cut watermelon, ripe Georgia peaches, Texas caviar. No, this isn't a farmer's market. It's the lunchroom at East Jackson Elementary School. EJES is a Georgia-grown school. The program is a part of the nationwide Farm to School movement. That movement tries to make healthy eating fun for kids using foods grown in and around the state. Rich Friedman is responsible for the meals that come out of this kitchen. His lunchroom staff tests and serves out new Georgia-grown recipes every month.
We've worked on them, we've developed them, and we've tried them here. So that's, I have a real sense of ownership about it.
Now, the majority of the meals have at least one locally grown food item, just like today's watermelon from Habersham County. Dr. Deborah Morris is the Director of Nutrition of Jackson County Schools. She says getting these locally grown foods can be the hardest part. Federal guidelines require them to get the best possible price.
What's local is not the least expensive of the foods that's available.
And then there's a problem of getting the food to the school. Many of the local farmers don't deliver. Morris used to have to make the watermelon deliveries herself.
You know, the ride on the back of a watermelon truck. It's good stuff, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes, but it does present its challenges.
But when lunchtime comes around, she sees the kids get excited about the menu. And she can't help but get excited too.
At that point, it's all of the effort that went into the process. It's worth it.
Reporting in Jackson County, Lesley Holler, Grady News Source. Ebola is in the headlines, but colds are in the air, and the flu, and enterovirus D68. And at this time of year, they're all on Dr. Amy Kay's mind.
There are more illnesses and more viruses going around in the general population and the general public, and so they're just going to be exposed to more.
Kay is the director of the Child Development Lab at the McFall Center at the University of Georgia. 70 children from infants to toddlers stay there while parents work. Siobhan Minish is in charge of the youngest tots there. She always worries about their health.
But it is something that we really try and be mindful of and think about and make sure that we're on top of so that none of our kids get sick.
Now, one of the safety precautions they take here is that if someone has something in their mouth that shouldn't be, they put it in something called a yuck bucket.
The bucket is full by the end of the day. It's thoroughly cleaned along with the rest of the room. These measures are not hard, but they are tedious. Hand washing is a must.
We wash our hands probably about 30 to 40 times a day.
The same advice the Centers for Disease Control gives families to protect against enterovirus D68 and the flu. No kids have had either of these viruses. But at this time of year, if someone comes in sick,
We'll send kids home at the first sign, just being more cautious.
Lesley Holler, Grady News Source.